Regional cooperation is always important, especially for Hong Kong. We're not a self-contained economy. But my view is we shouldn't be too political. We should try to avoid geopolitics as much as possible, though it's not up to us to say, for most of the time. For me, both RCEP and TPP are a bit too political for us. The underlying reasons for formation of such regional organizations had been largely politically driven than for compelling economic reasons. So let it be. We don't, try to do something extra to become a member of RCEP. Possibly it's not possible anyway for us to become a member of TPP. Now PPP under Australian and Japanese initiative are called comprehensive and progressive, TPP. I guess it's not much room for Hong Kong to participate in. RCEP is a possibility. Hong Kong should look for more free trade agreements, FTAs. For example, in 2018, we formed the FTA with ASEAN. We have a few other FTAs. It's difficult for Hong Kong to engage in FTAs because we don't have very much to offer. We're a free port already. But I think what Hong Kong can do is to go into trade facilitation and investment promotion and investment liberalisation with other countries is what Hong Kong most needs. Then, therefore, I would say look for opportunities of bilateral or multilateral FTAs rather than going for the, mega, gigantic regional organizations. Hong Kong is well positioned, for example, to participate in Belt Road. Belt Road leading to ASEAN and Southeast Asia. That would be very good. But in the end, for the modern economy, scale is important. At one time, when I studied the four little dragons, the four newly industrialized economies, it seems scale was not important. A small open economy like Hong Kong can succeed, but not today. Today's scale is rather important. Hong Kong, with a limited, small population of 7.5 million, may not be sufficient to sustain a modern, technologically driven economy. So I would strongly advise that Hong Kong has to integrate with the Greater Bay Area and connect it to the Belt Road, to enlarge its potential scale, of its economy. The first challenge possibly will be mindset. It's important for Hong Kong people to realize its own limitation, of scale. We need to expand our economy. So the mindset is important, but if you talk about the actual barriers we have to overcome, they would be the free movement of people. Today, largely, we can move, in and out. But still, you need some permission, visa, and other requirements. The solution could be very simple. It's just like an APEC card. If there's a GBA card, whoever who are eligible would be able to apply for the card and who could have a free, movement between Hong Kong and the Greater Bay Area. Capital movement is still restricted, but to some extent there are many ways to circumvent it because of all these cross-border, movement of funds. Possible, not perfect, but possible. The greatest barrier possibly to the integration or cooperation will be information flow. This is difficult because information flow is not only a question of economics. It is also a question of national security, a question of technology as well. a question of intellectual property rights, etc. So in the end, there are problems, but not insurmountable. While information flow is a question, but what we could try to do is to reduce the limitations, to see whatever we can do, to overcome that. But we can move very quickly towards, the free flow of people. We can do more in terms of cross-border capital flow.